The Garibaldi Legion. No, not the Polish Garibaldi Legion, or the Confederate Garibaldi Legion, or the Union's Garibaldi Guard, the Republican Garibaldi Battalion, or the partisan Garibaldi Brigades. Wow, there are a lot of units named after Giuseppe Garibaldi. I'm talking about the French Foreign Legion's 4th Marching Regiment of the 1st Foreign Regiment that was nicknamed the Garibaldi Legion and was made up of Italian citizens during World War I. With the outbreak of the First World War in fall 1914, Giuseppe Garibaldi II, aka Peppino, the grandson of Giuseppe Garibaldi, and his 4 brothers offered their services to Britain. You may be asking why the British would want the services of the Garibaldi brothers, and it's because the Garibaldi family was famous for fighting wars with volunteer forces, having great command skills, and being international freedom fighters. Peppino himself had fought in the Greco-Turkish War, Mexican Revolution, Second Boer War, and First Balkan War. The British, in all of their wisdom, however, declined the offer, and Peppino went to Paris to pitch an Italian unit to the French, which they accepted. The Garibaldi Legion would be made up of Italians who were veterans of the previous campaigns in South Africa and Greece, members of the Italian Youth Republican Society, and Mazzinians. The Garibaldi Legion did not become a unit in the regular French army, as Paris insisted that the Italians join the French Foreign Legion. The body of Italian volunteers consisted of approximately 2,200 soldiers and was built into the 4th Marching Regiment of the 1st Foreign Regiment with the standard uniform of legionnaires, with one small difference. The Italians included a red shirt under their jackets. The Legion was briefly trained in Montélimar, Nimes, and Montbouchard, and then transferred on November 11, 1914 to Mali, where Lieutenant Colonel Giuseppe Garibaldi II formally took over command. In December of that year, the unit had its first baptism by fire at the Argonne, where the first 40 Italian legionnaires were KIA. On December 26, 1914, the Garibaldi Legion fought in Belle Étoile near Bois de Bolante and was used on the front line of the Argonne in risky enterprises and bayonet assaults. It was a bloody battle where the volunteers were victorious. Here Peppino was almost killed. However, his brother Lieutenant Bruno Garibaldi died in the charge. When the Italian public found out, it enraged them. After Bruno was killed, 300,000 people took part in his funeral procession on January 6, 1915. French, British, Russian, Belgian, and Serbian ambassadors were in attendance. The second battle that the Legion saw in the Argonne took place on January 5, 1915, Fort de Paris, where it suffered heavy casualties, including another brother of Peppino, Constantino Garibaldi, and it was during Bruno's funeral that news had arrived of Constantino's death. On May 6, 1915, the Legion was given the general mobilization order in Italy and was dissolved. The 4th Regiment marched back to Avignon, and all Italian legionnaires were then sent back to Italy to fight against the Austrians. This was because none of the legionnaires were French citizens and were all Italians. They were sent to the Italian front with the Alpini. In November 1915, Peppino Garibaldi's unit fought on the Italian front and was the one that planted the Italian flag on the summit of Col di Lana. For this, he received a promotion to colonel. He was later promoted to brigadier general in June of 1918 and retired from the military a year later in 1919. Col di Lana had been nicknamed Blood Mountain as during the years of 1915 and 1916 Italian troops attempted to storm the peak, defended first by German Alpine Corps and later by the Austro-Hungarian regiments. These attempts had resulted in heavy Italian losses, with 276 Italians dying due to avalanches alone. Garibaldi's forces, however, could only mount a weak defense with ragtag units against a well-orchestrated pincer movement. The top of Col di Lana fell back to Austro-Hungarian troops early the next day. A terrible winter then set in, doing its fair share of killing of Italian and Austro-Hungarian soldiers. 1916 and 1917 would see Col di Lana becoming a site of fierce mine warfare between the two belligerents. After the war, Peppino Garibaldi opposed the fascist regime of Benito Mussolini from when they came to power in 1922, and he would become imprisoned in 1943 by the Germans in Regina Coeli prison in Rome. One legionnaire, Lazare Ponticelli, was 16 years old when he joined the Garibaldi Legion in 1914 and rediscovered his older brother, Celesti Ponticelli, who had joined the same regiment. According to Ponticelli, France had done so much for him, and serving was his way of showing his gratitude, and he fought at Soissons in Picardy, northeastern France, and at Douaumont near Verdun. Ponticelli worked digging burial pits and trenches. In keeping a promise to Celesti, he always assisted others and rescued a German and French soldier who were wounded in the arm and leg, respectively. With Italy's entry to the war in 1915, Ponticelli was conscripted into the Italian army and fought against the Austro-Hungarians at Tyrol, where he was wounded in the face. He would be wounded again at a machine gun post and survive a gas attack in 1918 by the Austro-Hungarians. After the war, Ponticelli became a French citizen in 1939 and joined the French resistance during World War II. He would become the last surviving French soldier of World War I, dying at the age of 110 years old in 2008. What do you think of the Garibaldi Legion? Did you know about them before this video? Would you like for me to make videos on the other units that were named after Giuseppe Garibaldi? Let me know in the comments below, and thank you for watching.